Welcome back to the second hour of 8 Bits, you guys. We just got off of a discussion on Battlefield 4, what we've been playing. There was quite a few games there, and now we're going to be moving on to our news of the week, whatever we want to talk about. I know that JP's got a few things that he's thrown in here. So JP, why don't you kick it off? Where do you want us to start?
I don't even know where to start. There's a large plethora of there's just so much stuff that people are going crazy about lately. From what started as all of the rumors with Call of Duty being 720p on the Xbox One and 1080p on the PS4, which was probably the top thread on GAF for, I don't know, a week. And then finally that came out and was confirmed, and people are like, we did it. We've done it, guys. We've got them to confirm it. Fuck you, Microsoft. It's like, well, okay, good job, guys. It's 720p on the Xbox One and 1080p on the PS4. I don't know. I was reading those threads only because I enjoyed the GIFs in them. I was not trying to get into the. We talked about that last week, actually, when we showed the little silly advert where it's like, just sit further away from the screen.
Just sit further away.
But yeah, like that. I don't know, man.
Or be old like me with bad eyes. I can't tell the difference. There's no difference to me. Squint. They all look great.
I mean, there's definite, like, obviously 1080p is going to look better than 720p, guys. Like, there's no doubt about that. There's 1,000 reasons why it's going to obviously look better, but people just went crazy about this.
I mean, in theory, objectively, I understand, you have a 1080p television, you've probably had it for a little while, you want the best thing for this expensive TV you bought. So right. I get that. But, JP, you and I were, like, I was sort of making fun of the outrage on Twitter the other day, but it was really more what I was making fun of was that I, like, couldn't keep up. Like, with who was mad at who, like, now we're mad at Sony this hour, and it was just like, what was funny to me is just how much anger there is over something that we just shouldn't be that angry about this stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's anger.
Just games.
I think it's just boredom. It's just like waiting until this next.
Maybe
thing
maybe it's just noise like, because we're all
gotta talk about it. Yeah,
I guess it could be. You're right.
What do you guys think about the idea that maybe it's just like, don't treat us like we're 5. Just at least be upfront about the information. Otherwise, you know what? We're internet sleuths. We're gonna come out. We're gonna find it.
Well, that's the dumbest thing, right? I mean, they have. Yeah, I mean, they're still living like 10, 20 years ago when they thought that they could just hide this information and just feed us any line of bullshit and we'll go, okay. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Now we can just find out anything and they just look worse for lying. Right. It's just a dumb tactic. I mean, the smarter companies already know not to do that. That's why social media is so big right now, right? Because they figured out, well, we actually should employ people to talk directly to the fans and not bullshit them because they know this shit. We can't fool them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, does it affect
the
sales?
Biggest thing. That's the other thing, too. I don't...
Console sales, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the entire time. Like, does a NeoGAF post with 400,000 views on it, is that going to even be a blip in Microsoft sales this holiday season? Because the average consumer has no idea what NeoGAF is.
That's right, they don't. And, when you talk to a lot of these companies, they'll flat out dismiss all that noise. They'll just say, it's the vocal minority. Fuck those guys. You know? Yeah. Because they know come Christmas time, everyone's going to be getting this stuff for their kids or, significant others or whatever. They're not worried about what they perceive as the minority of whiners on NeoGAF or Twitter or in the press. But, the problem is that those people are influencers, right? To use industry terms, those are people that then tell other people.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, totally.
And we've seen it happen before, where that stuff really does spread into the real world, right? I mean, it can. I don't think in the short run it's going to stop anybody from putting down for a new console, really. But I mean, like, look at the shitstorm that happened this summer with the Xbox One with those first announces. I mean, at first it was just a gamer internet outrage, right?
It got a lot bigger, though.
It got picked up by all the news stations. What a clusterfuck that was. Yeah. And people lost their jobs.
The worst part about that is that all of the stuff that came out of that from Microsoft to try to rectify what happened, that didn't get to the news, the Foxes, the ABCs of the world. So, like, for a lot of people, they still think all of this still exists, and it's still there on the Xbox One. That I think that is the most troubling for Microsoft going into this next gen, is that average consumer thinks that the Kinect's going to spy on them, thinks all this crazy shit's going to happen.
That's very true.
Yeah, I think it is kind of amazing, though, at Microsoft's cockroach-like resilience, which I don't mean in a bad way, that if you go back to the summer, that thing looked like it was dead. You know, I mean, there was that whole string of terrible news. Like, it was almost like one day after another was another facepalm, especially because they kept like backing up, and you were just like, "Oh my God, someone tell them to stop talking." You know, I was in on day one, and the more you talk, the less I wanted.
Every E3 interview that happened was just like,
it was so awful.
Dig it.
It was so awful. You were just like, "What the fuck are you guys smoking?" And then, but like now already, it's not even that much later, really. It's only beginning of November. That's not a lot of time. And most of us have sort of like, I'm going to get an Xbox. You know, even knowing all this shit, most of us still in the back of our heads know we're going to end up with one. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting one day. I'm actually, I've shifted over now. I am more excited about the games on Xbox One than I am for PS4 at launch, just because Watch Dogs.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'm more interested in Dead Rising 3 than I am in Killzone at the moment. And what was the other one? I guess Forza. Forza looks good. I don't know. I'm getting games for both of them, so we'll just have to see how it comes down.
Now,
the Titanfall news was another big controversy.
Yeah, we got that here too. Shout out.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. We can.
Yeah, we can bounce around. It's all the same pretty much. Like, this all happened in the same thread practically.
Yeah,
basically. People were just leaking rumor after rumor after rumor, then it all got confirmed later on. So the Titanfall thing, Jeff, that you're alluding to, you're talking about the fact that it is Xbox forever or Windows forever.
Titanfall 1 in any case.
Titanfall 1, yeah. Which came also from a very interesting tweet saying that who was it that said it? I think it was the head of I can't think of the freaking studio now. The Titanfall dev came out and said that they didn't even know that was the deal or something like that, which was the original post, that he wasn't even aware that it was exclusive. And that, I mean, for EA to do that is that's a little bit weird.
It was kind of brutal. I mean, I don't know the details at all, and since they do still pay me, I should probably watch on this particular subject just to be fully full disclosure there. But what it seemed was the deal was, they made the exclusivity deal forever seemed to be something that the company wasn't aware of, but clearly it must have been in their contract somewhere, otherwise it couldn't have happened, I suppose. I don't know. That was intense, though. That was a little bit of drama when you've got the head of a company saying they didn't know their own game was going to be exclusive forever on one console. That's heavy duty.
It is a little bit interesting. The nice thing that came out of that was the fact that I don't have to get Windows 8 to play Titanfall.
I was thinking I don't have to get an Xbox One now, to be honest. You know, like if I could play it on PC, I think we're going to... I mean, frankly, I'm starting to think that other than the exclusives, which are probably still going to be, have a chance to come to PC, like, I don't even know that I'll play my PS4 that much. Because, honestly, if it comes to PC, I'll go there.
That's what's been in the back of my head this entire time. Like, why am I buying this? Oh, right, because it's new.
Right. Well, that's what I got of that whole Titanfall kerfuffle. There was I didn't even realize it was going to be on PC until that story, and I was like, oh, well, shit. Now I don't have to choose because of course I'm going to play it on PC.
Yeah. So, as long as it's like not a console, as long as they make it like a PC game and it's not a port that is poorly, that is shitty. That's my only fear.
Won't do that. Well, hopefully it won't.
We never really know.
No, we don't.
What else is there?
Well, I mean, how about the FAQ that got released? Because this certainly ruffled a lot of feathers as well. Even though it was supposed to be sort of an informational posting, this FAQ has kind of, I guess, revealed some things that, of course, now people are like, oh, we can latch onto that and get pissed. Let's do it. But here, I think there's some pretty major things. Let's kind of break this down. First off, they no YouTube. So, like, this is kind of something that people expected. The way, I guess, there's going to be some sort of video uploading, but it won't be through YouTube directly. So we're not quite sure.
I think it goes to Facebook or something, right?
Facebook, right, is what I've heard as well.
I think so.
Yeah. So PS4 does not support DLNA or media servers. A bit surprising, but, you know, I've moved to PC for that. Pretty much.
Didn't they market themselves as somewhat of a media center back when it first launched? Yeah. I mean, that's the average consumer doesn't use the PS3 as a media center in that kind of name of it, but for a lot of the hardcore people, that's their bread and butter when it comes to getting something on the big screen. So
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I use my PS3 for Netflix.
And that'll work. Still,
but I was sort of surprised to see how many people were angry about the music stuff. But but it's fair, I guess, right? I mean, I never would have even thought of playing my music through.
That is also console, I haven't thought about it that way, Jeff. But that is a little weird. Like, why do you want to play music on a console? Like, fucking turn on your PC and put it
right, or I've got my stereo right there.
Yeah, or your phone, or your tablet.
And frankly, I mean, I don't know about. I mean, most of the music I listen to now is either on my my iPhone or on my computer with headphones.
Right.
But you know, whatever. That's the people who did use it that way who aren't going to get to do it anymore. That does suck for them.
Totally. Yeah.
And no audio CDs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I haven't seen that.
No audio CDs, and external hard drives are not supported, but the 500 gigabyte hard drive is replaceable, which that's pretty much like PS3. I have a hard time getting my feathers rustled at all for the three things that people are kind of getting upset about. I mean, I have a bazillion different ways to listen to music. I think anyone with a smartphone and Bluetooth probably has the exact billions of ways that I have. I can't even remember last time I used my PS4 for something like that. But I know that there are people out there who have in the past, and that is kind of shitty for them. So I can certainly understand that perspective on it. Now, let's see. There was additionally inside the FAQ, and I think they linked to the whole thing. And let me see if I can find it.
Which part in particular are you looking for?
The HDCP stuff.
I think that's under the digital entertainment. No, where is it at?
You know what I'm talking about. Were they talking about at a future update? Did anyone?
Yeah. Where did I read? Did they remove this or? Because I definitely saw that.
It was so. I didn't see this before I saw the pictures that I think came from NeoGAF, right? Because there was a full breakdown, and one of the things was about something regarding the HTTP compliance, and that there was it was going to be activated, open, or something on a patch, or certain capture cards would be able to be used after a patch. Yeah, but I don't see it here now, so maybe it was removed.
I do remember reading it. I know that it was mentioned the fact that on the dev consoles, the HTTP can be toggled on and off. And that a lot of reviewers are getting that. That was on the Giant Bomb podcast this week. I think it was this week. Maybe it was last week. So that's a little bit interesting. But where did you find it yet, Weeks? Now I'm scanning through it.
No,
I can't
now
find
I can't find it, and I swear to God, no, I can't now. But anyway, the reason that this was, here we go. Oh, hold on, I hear filing up there. So one of the reasons why, okay, so this was submitted 5 days ago. Here we go. HTTP capture on PS4 will allegedly be restricted on YouTube, perhaps the cause of today. All right, so shit, this isn't finding me the picture either.
Someone linked this Ars Technica post. Maybe it's in here. I'll link that too.
The reason why we're even bringing it up, or it is a big deal, is because since they said that there was no YouTube support, well, how do I get my videos to YouTube, right? As I would probably then just use my capture card or whatever. But then on top of all that, there was this part that, whether it was a part of the FAQ before and now it's not, I don't know, that basically said it wasn't necessarily going to be something offered when you take your retail device out of the box. So that's why people were speculating maybe that has something to do with a lot of the journalists being upset about it, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you had a dead box, maybe it's not an issue.
Okay, here it is. Yeah.
You found it?
Can users, it's at the bottom. Just look for can users copy the recorded gameplay video from PS4 to other devices such as PC. PS4 users will not be able to directly copy recorded gameplay video files from PS4 to other devices, though they will be able to use the DualShock 4 controller's share button to upload videos to Facebook for distribution. This function will be supported by a future system update. And then the second one is, does PS4 support external HDMI-based game capture devices? PS4 will allow the use of external HDMI-based capture devices following an upcoming system software update. Please follow PlayStation.blog and PlayStation.com for news following the launch of the PS4.
Right. So breaking it down. So, hey, we're giving you no way to upload to YouTube, is what's being said. But then further down, they're saying, by the way, maybe your Elgato, your Avermedias, etc. Like, that's not going to work either. So this is sort of the reason why there was potentially maybe some frustration over being able to capture footage. We don't know if that was necessarily what it was about, but JP and I have talked about it a little bit. Like, will this affect streamers in any way? Will it affect people that make content for YouTube? It's until we can pull one out of the box, we're not sure. But it is rather interesting.
Interesting would be one word. Stupid might be another.
Well, and I have my own problems with HDCP in general. I'm a big iPad user, and Apple includes HDCP because they offer television and movie content through the App Store, right? Like, I don't even give two shits about that. I want to capture my iPad with games, right? But because of this HDCP that they enforce, it becomes, and I've got to do this and this process, and it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. So while I understand that it's there to protect themselves and all the movie companies and television companies, etc., I feel like it really is. It's just a pain in the ass. I wish that there could be a bit more selective. Yeah. If you HDCP'd every movie and song that came out of my iPad, great. I won't care. But really, like a game, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing here.
Yeah, you're totally right. Right. I mean, you can't play the game that way. And, the thing is, it's like with all of this technology, like, the genie's out of the bottle now, right? Like, people want to be able to do this, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna figure out a way around you if you don't get on board. Yep. So you might as well just get on board, because it's not fucking going away. You are just preventing the inevitable.
You're preventing someone from supporting your stuff, which is also the weirdest thing.
That's where I'll flat out use the word stupid. Okay? Yeah. Because it's free advertising for them. Like, having other people online talking about your game for free is advertising for them.
Right. And I don't. That's not who they're trying to shut down. What they're probably trying to shut down is the people that are using the HDMI strippers on a service like Netflix, and then taking that 720p or 1080p rips and putting those up on the torrents and the file shares and all that stuff. That's obviously what I think they're targeting. The shitty thing is that, the side effect of that is you're also fucking everyone else. Yeah. So.
Right, and those movie rips. I'm not saying they should just ignore it or whatever. I mean. But they're there. They're going to be there forever. They could shut down. They're going to show up somewhere else.
So, there's still like a big what if? Like, what if we get the PS4 and you can't do any of that? You can't stream it unless you're streaming straight from the box. Like, we really don't know. I don't know how that's all going to go down. I guess we'll just have to see.
Day one.
They were a little bit vague in that ultimate FAQ, to be honest, about all of that. So
the smart, cool thing for both of them to do would have just been, given where we are now with all this technology and with what's happening with Twitch and other places, is to just jump on board 100%. Just like out of the box, like even have a freaking Twitch icon right there. You know,
Yep.
they should have just embraced it, because this is obviously the future, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot by not getting on board.
Well,
Yeah.
and what is interesting is without a YouTube thing, YouTube uploader, like I actually wonder how many people are going to just stream from their PlayStation 4 and then use the Twitch YouTube uploader to just put their footage up that way. So I mean,
That's
it's
the
like
other thing,
you
too.
mentioned, like within their own system, there is a way to get around it. Whether they provide it or not. So it is really kind of a goofy scenario across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't state that the MP3 DLNA debacle has been commented on by God, now I can't remember his name. Basically, Sony's come out and said multiple things, said that they are talking with the team and looking at what happened there. Very vague statements.
Yeah. Translation: we fucked up.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad. What can we do at the last minute to shut this off?
Yeah, Yost P on Twitter, whose name I am. That's Yoshida. Duh. He said we'd like to keep gamers happy and are considering every possibility regarding PS4's gameplay capture. Will update you as soon as possible. But this was back in September, so that's when all of that stuff happened.
Yeah.
Quite a while ago. I'm trying to find the MP3 comments. They were just very vague comments.
Oh, sure. That's because it goes through 3 lawyers before they say anything.
Oh, yeah, totally.
to bleach it of any actual content. Here's what you can say.
Yeah, had a very good discussion with the PS4 dev team today. We're happy and appreciative to learn so many people use and like PS3's media features. So it's like, all right, okay.
Here's your clap.
Yeah.
Well.
All right.
Thanks. The other ones, thanks for the feedback for the lack of MP3 and DLNA support at the launch of PS4. I'll share with the PS4 dev team for future consideration. So who knows?
One day we'll all have these machines and we'll just be laughing.
Probably.
Probably.
If we could just play games,
It'd be good.
It's funny.
Remember when the consoles, that's all they used to do?
Yeah.
Remember those days? We didn't have to bother with any of this bullshit. You plugged it in, you attach it to your TV, and you put the game in the cartridge.
Yep. Ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
When I could look at the pages of a magazine like 50 times and the screenshots never got old. Yeah. Now it's like moving video, it's screenshot and adjusted.
I really wonder, like, day one of these console launches, if there's going to be like some, I don't even know what it could be, but some crazy thing where NeoGAF just goes ballistic. Like something that the Microsoft or Sony is not telling people, or if there's something like hidden, or that some game like introduces just something crazy.
Some horrible shoe dropping. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what it could be, but that's. I think that's why everyone's so like hyped for this, is because like the what if scenarios for all of this stuff.
Well, I mean, it really is exciting, right? I mean, it's
totally.
the next gen. It's been years and years and years. So this is a huge new piece of technology that's going to be in all of our living rooms. So that's cool. It's exciting in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
And part of excitement is also just sort of the unknown, a little bit fear of the unknown. Yeah, what is this monster I'm now putting in my living room? Is the Kinect piping straight to the NSA? I don't know.
Probably.
There was some information about that came out, I think, yesterday, where Microsoft is still trying to like alleviate a lot of the fears and concerns of that stuff. So
I'm gonna have to hide a few things in my living room before I hook that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do our last news item. We might have some time for a phone call or two. We'll see where this one takes us, and I think you can play the March right now, but it's going to come to an abrupt stop because Command & Conquer has been canceled, and there's actually a line in here that just sort of blows my mind a little bit. Is this the one? Maybe this isn't the one, but it was. There was basically an article that they was referencing it where they said, we realized we were not making the game that you wanted. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty powerful. But, this was in full alpha. I watched Gunrun stream this. It looked, pretty good. Like, I can't really comment too much on the gameplay because I wasn't actually playing it myself. But yeah, I think that people were excited for this. And, it's...
That phrasing that was weird to me when I read that too, because it's sort of like it almost felt like, I don't know, sort of like blaming the fans, like, well, we tried to make a game, but you guys are just fucking bitching about it. So we're going home. Never mind.
Yeah.
Fuck you. We tried.
That's exactly. We are not making the game you want to play. That's exactly how I interpreted it. Which.
Yeah.
So Jeff, let me ask you this, right? Command and Conquer, you've got one side who's like, I want this to be the next competitive title. So they're thinking about it and they're considering every aspect of the game from that perspective. Then you've got the guys that are like, I've been playing Command and Conquer for 15 years now, so don't fuck up my game. And they give their own set of feedback. And like, are you ever making anyone happy in sort of that triangle of alpha testers? I don't think so. Were they even confused about?
I'm sure they were confused. I mean, this is the problem when you're not just with open beta testing, but in general, sort of this bigger thing of like focus testing and getting all this constant feedback. Is like, if you don't have the discipline to trust your own artistic instinct, you're just gonna, drive yourself nuts and have no actual real opinion of your own, because you're just listening to everybody else and freaking out, and then you cancel the game like, I can't handle it. So, we saw that a little bit with Mass Effect 3, right? And the ending of that. It's sort of like whatever you felt about the ending, whether you were okay with it or not, it was an interesting decision that BioWare went back. And I'm not saying good or bad. It was just interesting that they then felt the need to placate the fans. I mean, you don't see this in other mediums, right? You don't have a movie director come back and say, gee, sorry, I fucked up the end.
Right.
Yeah, guys, George Lucas still doesn't fucking care to this day, guys.
Right, exactly. He keeps making it worse.
Yeah.
Like, you thought this was bad. Wait till you see the re-release. What do you think now, assholes? So,
it's so true, though. I mean, no one's ever like, I've heard the single off this, or I've heard your single, and the whole album is just, it's going to suck. All right, well, you know what? Fuck it. Album's canceled. It's done.
And in other mediums, like, if that happens, if anything, it's good for whatever it is, the song or the album or the movie, when that happens, because then everyone's talking about it constantly, right? And then they want to go see it. They want to actually have it happen to them for themselves. In video games, people are just fucking like, fuck this. I'm not even going to touch that. And I'm going to go crazy on Twitter. And now that, like you said, a lot of the companies are starting to buckle a little bit. I mean, we saw that with Microsoft this summer. So
it was really hard to tell with the Command and Conquer thing, because I didn't play it at all. So I don't know if it was good or bad. And there really was a lot of mixed reaction, it seemed, in the community. There were a lot of people who afterwards said, like, good, because they were wrecking the franchise with that game. And then there were other people who were on board with it. So it's sort of, again, it was almost, Marcus, I think you're right. It's almost more that statement, which was the worst thing about it, which sort of implied that it was led by fan dissatisfaction rather than, it would have been better if they said, like, we looked at this game and we decided this was not up to snuff. This was not the CNC game we wanted to make. Then I think there would sort of been less a big deal about it. I don't know.
The statement verbatim is, your feedback from the alpha trial is clear. We are not making the game you want to play. That is why, after much difficult deliberation, we have decided to cease production of the version of this game.
They should have added, way to go, jerks.
Yeah. Dipshits.
Yeah.
Now?
Grats, internet.
Yeah. The other thing, too, which I do not believe is talked about here, is that Victory Studios, the dev team for this Command & Conquer, was shut down as well.
Yeah, which is kind of convenient to come out. Or, not making the game they want to play. Okay, you guys, peace. It is sort of, I mean, not saying like it's a cover-up or anything, but I mean, it like that sucks because that sort of gets hidden behind all of it as well.
Yeah.
And it goes to show there's two things. So first off, I did hear some other podcasts, some other folks reporting on it, that half of the complaints were more about the microtransaction system and how that worked into the game, not so much the gameplay itself. Again, I don't know because I didn't play the alpha, so I didn't spend money. I'm not sure how that experience was. The other thing too is that no franchise is safe anymore. This is a beloved franchise.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of the biggest.
Like, loved by millions. And again, I don't know if it comes down to the complexity of games these days, and RTSs are certainly not necessarily in line with what people want to play and how they want to play, or how it works in the new meta of gaming. How do you reward someone constantly in an RTS for, I don't know. But it's amazing to me. The Command & Conquer, a game that, God, how many hours did I spend on that as a kid? It can't catch a break. It cannot.
It's sad. It's sad. And I think that's how I felt ultimately, was just sort of like bummed. I mean, hopefully it's not the end of the franchise. Hopefully they'll just regroup here and figure out a way to do it. But certainly it's been a long time since we've seen a good CNC game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to go is they've tried so hard to bring this game back. Sure, yeah. To bring this game back multiple times into kind of this gen. I think the last, was it Command & Conquer Generals? Was that, for some reason, that one kind of rings loudly in my head. I don't know if that was the latest one.
I don't know. I remember 4 had all sorts of issues.
Did they really get to Command & Conquer 4? See, I didn't even realize that. I thought 3 was where they stopped in the actual, in the true series.
I remember Generals being okay, or good, actually. Better than okay.
Maybe that's why I remember it the most. Because people are saying in the chat 4 was the bad one, and that the Generals was the good one. But I don't know where you take that series now. Do you go the route of what StarCraft did, where you just stick to the original core gameplay and do that, or?
I would think that this is probably a question for every RTS maker, right? I mean, if
they're very few.
Right. I mean, I imagine, are there people at Blizzard sitting around now thinking about Warcraft 4? And if so, what would that game be like now? I mean, would people want to play that kind of game? I mean, I would, but I don't know.
Totally, I would too,
yeah. I mean, and I love the single-player campaigns in all of those games. And maybe they just don't feel there's a market for that anymore. I don't know. Or they, can they make an RTS that doesn't have some kind of like Wheat was saying, some kind of microtransaction system or reward system? I don't know. Would a game company bank at this point on a closed system RTS? It's hard to believe that they would, though. I'd play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. To kind of talk about it, would Blizzard make a Warcraft 4? Would they ever? Do you think that's in their? I don't know if that's in their game plan.
I'd be surprised if it was in their game plan, honestly. Which is kind of also sad because that was their flagship franchise, right? I mean,
it was, yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's probably a ton of people, hardcore World of Warcraft players, who never actually played the Warcraft series until that MMO.
Well, I mean, do they have to make Warcraft 4? Because can't they? Nope. Warcraft created World of Warcraft. I mean, obviously, right? The lore extends into it. Right, exactly. So, I don't know that it. I kind of feel like if Blizzard's going to stick to the staple RTS, they're going to stick to StarCraft, and that seems to be their direction. And the Warcraft lore, obviously, they're going to mix when Heroes of the Storm comes out, but I don't see them. I really, really don't see them actually making Warcraft 4. I think the days of. Yeah, I don't.
That ship has probably sailed.
With the troubles that they've had with StarCraft 2.
Right. And what about StarCraft 3? Do you think that they would bother at this point with a single player campaign even?
I think with StarCraft 3, I don't think StarCraft 2 will be the end of it. I really don't. I think that game carries a legacy, and World of Warcraft has already picked up the Warcraft legacy. Right,
yeah,
so
sure.
I think they would attract more people to a sequel to World of Warcraft, or maybe a new take on RTS, some sort of new strategy. And I don't know. Tough to say.
That's true. We still got one more StarCraft 2 game coming out with Legacy of the Void anyways, so it's at least Blizzard time, it's at least 10 years off. Like, we're a ways off from the next StarCraft.
So we can race that and Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can become the new Duke Nukems.
Yeah. It can be.
Which comes out first. Although there hasn't been announcements, et cetera, for all that stuff like Duke Nukem. So maybe that's unfair.
A bazillion times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just communities being like Half-Life 3 confirmed multiple times, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, that's a stupid story. Let's not talk about it.
So, guys, I actually just got a call from my wife. They are going to release her from the hospital. So, if you don't mind, I know it's about 10 minutes until the top of the hour, but maybe we can just close the show out right now.
So works
family first, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, we got a few minutes still, so we want to do like a little wrap as we normally do. Jeff, as always, it's been great to have you on the show.
Thanks so much.
We can steal away a few more Fridays from you maybe in the future because it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much. If I stay unemployed, you have me.
So how about any final thoughts from you? Where can people find you, etc.?
They could find me at Greenspeak. That's GREEN speak, like you have been spoken to. That's all one word. So at Greenspeak on Twitter, and my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Greenspeak. And I will be doing a Black Mesa live stream later today.
Awesome.
There you go.
JP?
Well, we won't be doing 8-bits next week 'cause me and Wheat will both be at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Maybe we'll record a little. I'm bringing my camera, JP, so maybe we'll just record a little 5-minute something.
While we're like, yeah, okay.
Just something.
I was about to say while we're playing, and then I was like, wait a minute, can't say that. I don't want to talk about that yet. We'll be playing a certain game, and maybe we'll talk about that.
Yes.
And then the following Friday, the PS4 comes out. Which it's here. It's right around the corner, so that's going to be like
so
crazy fun.
Yeah.
We'll have some news we'll be live all Friday is kind of the plan.
Nice.
But we'll have some more details about that, I would think, by next week.
But you will get 24 hours of us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the day it goes live? Is that Friday?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. I'm definitely looking forward to that as well.
I don't know why I keep committing these 24-hour streams. The Battlefield, I didn't even make it the full 24 hours of like the official stream week.
JP, you're going to have help this time, though. That's the thing, right? With two
that was
people,
honestly the worst part. Is like when 7 a.m., I'm just like,
where is...
God.
You know, if it's like, trust me. Yeah. Well, you'll smack you, and you can smack me every time. It almost
there you go. So we'll have more details about that soon. Probably the week of is, I guess, when you can expect an official post or something about that. But we will be live for 24 hours with the launch of the PS4. Next week and kind of all of November for me, content's going to be a little bit on the light side just because there's so many people traveling around and so many different events esports-wise on each of the weekends. But I'll try to supplement with maybe some just general video game stuff and maybe not the role-play content. Other than that, this VOD will be up on my YouTube channel. As soon as we go offline, you can actually watch it here on djWHEAT if you're a sub. Yep. And once again, thanks for Jeff for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure for me.
Yeah, same for us, man.
As far as things are concerned for me, well, this weekend might just be a shut-in weekend because it sounds like the wife is coming home, so I probably will be streaming. I do have a couple copies of Battlefield to give away on Sunday, so hopefully you'll join me then. Other than that, just normal schedule. JP, looking forward to BlizzCon next week. And yeah, definitely the PS4 launch right around the corner, guys. So once again, thanks for joining us here on another episode of 8-Bits. This has been episode 15, version 1.5, and we're excited to keep on bringing these to you every Friday. So guys, thanks, and to keep an eye on our Twitters for when the next show will be. That's it from us. We're out of here. Peace.